Hi, I'm Rachelle Dené Poth. I am a Spanish and STEAM educator from outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm also a consultant, an author, and an attorney, and I have been in education for a very long time. And I love technology. So, any chance that I get to try something new in my classroom, I get very excited about it. And I would just like to share some of the things that I've done and, let you know a little bit more about why I love using CoSpaces. So first, in my classroom, when I've been using CoSpaces, a lot of the time, what I really like to see students do is use the merge cube. And the best part about that is that when the students are able to have choice in creating whatever type of a space and whatever their project ends up being, but having the choice to then hold it in their hands. That has been a complete game changer over the last probably 8 years I've been using CoSpaces, just seeing the different changes and the new features and all of the things that are being added into the gallery and the excitement for students. So I would say that with CoSpaces, it's definitely the merge cube, and I have one here, not too far from me. But it's fun to share that with educators, and even in recent presentations and at different schools and colleagues that I share that with, it's always exciting to see their response to that and just the amazement of what you can do and how easy it is to create. When it comes to CoSpaces, the thing that I've loved the most about it over the years is that you can use it in any grade level in any content area. And I'm often asked from different educators who teach subjects, whether it's focused on math, people that teach history, English teachers, you name it. How can I use these different augmented virtual reality tools in my classroom? Like, what is specific for my needs and my students' needs? And I always come back to CoSpaces because I say you can use it for anything. The students can find so many different characters and objects and create different backgrounds, and the list goes on and on. But the best part about it is that you don't have to be an expert. And there are tons of examples available to look at in the gallery. And that's what I recommend for anybody who's getting started, is just give the students an opportunity to explore what has already been created, get some ideas about what they might like to create. And then as the teacher, have some fun learning with and from them as well. And then even just with the coding. So it can be as little or as much as students want, but being able to choose and make it really meaningful to their learning. As a language teacher, I never thought about bringing AR and VR into my classroom too much until one day students said, why don't we get to do the cool stuff like they do in the STEAM class? And I said, I hadn't thought about it. And that was just at the time when CoSpaces opened up the feature where you could collaborate. And I thought, why not? And I have never seen students retain their content in that area of Spanish better than that experience. And so the thing that I love the most about it is that it's for everybody. Everybody can use it. Everybody can get started with it. I've seen older students create projects and tell stories to share with younger students, and it's just very exciting. So if you're looking for new ideas, I definitely recommend CoSpaces because across the board, there's just a lot of possibilities and ideas, and they even have lesson plans. So you don't have to start from scratch. So I'm just thrilled to share my excitement for it. And it's always awesome to see the students' excitement as well when they've created something and learn from each other. So over the years, I've told a lot of stories about different students that I've had and the different technologies that we've used that have made an impact. And I have one student in particular that I've told the story about so many times because it was finally the one thing that we did in my class that they really connected with. And in fact, spent an entire weekend making all kinds of amazing parkour games and you name it. So that has stuck with me. And that was probably about 6 years ago. And I have other similar stories too about the first time some of my students used it or something I learned from them. lots of stories along the way. So I'm curious about what other experiences people may have had with students when using CoSpaces that really have stuck with you, whether it's because it's taught you something or it was finally something that resonated with the student. So, what is a lesson learned from a student, or what is something that just comes to mind at first whenever you hear CoSpaces or you think about your experience with CoSpaces? I would love to know.